blah, 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 blah. Deconverted man here. I hate this argument. This argument sucks. Let's go over it. It's from this debate between Gavin and Steele. Anyways, Gavin has this thing that he thinks is an argument. It's not an argument. I'm going to explain why. In order to do so, I got to put it in MS Paint. So that's what I did. I put it in MS Paint. If I seem frustrated, it's because the first time I did this, my audio wasn't on. And I hit everything now. Fuck everything. Screw you, reality. Just why? Anyways, here we go. It's in MS Paint. We'll put this to the side then for now because this is important later, and we'll just put it. I don't know. Put it somewhere. I don't know. Fuck it. Shit. Whatever. Okay. So. Shit. I don't know what I'm doing anymore. Ignore this for now. Just ignore this for now. I'm gonna put it over here. Okay. So the structure of this argument is broken. That's first and foremost. The argument isn't even an argument. You have a premise, a premise, a premise, a conclusion, a premise, a conclusion. That's not how arguments work. That is not how they are structured. This is wrong. I think Gavin made this himself or he got it from somewhere. I don't know the case. Whatever the case is, whoever wrote this has no idea how arguments function, how logic is. Informal logic, they have not read it. They do not know anything about it. They have not constructed this right. The form is invalid. Forget about what the contents are. The format is invalid. They broke logic. They don't know anything. How's it going? You guys can hear me. Your girls and robots can hear me. I'm sorry, I'm being loud. I'm a little bit irritated that last time I was saying a whole bunch of stuff and nobody could hear me. It was great. All right, it's a dumpster fire. This whole thing's I blame everything. I blame Gavin. That's what I do. Okay. So, why is this structurally invalid? Well, because in logic, you have a premise, and a conclusion. That's it. That's what you should have. I know theists love to have like multiple premises and then a conclusion, but that doesn't work. Doesn't work because your argument becomes bulky. It becomes badly just structured. It becomes hard to analyze and handle, and it's just a mess. So two premises and a conclusion is all you should need for an argument. If you have more, then you need to work at your argument. Argument should be simple, should flow from one thing to the next. This is that. Simple. Oh, easy. You know, X is B, X is true, B is true. Boom, easy, simple to understand, isn't complicated, isn't a big giant mess. This is a giant mess. The format's invalid. I've said that. It bears repeating. The format's invalid. This is not how to construct an argument. Okay. Having said all that, we're going to pretend like it doesn't matter, and then I'm going to show you why it matters. So if X, then Z. If Z, then A or B. Assert Q is true. Q being true makes B true from above. Conclusion, if X, then Z as assertion from above. There is X, just assert it, and then the assertion is true. There you go. That's what's going on in this argument. Holy shit, that's broken. So this is a hypothetical syllogism at the start. Hypothetical syllogism occurs when you have, it's HS for short. It occurs when you see the word if, or maybe it's a maybe, or the word it might be, or could, anything that suggests that it doesn't have to be true. If, when, perhaps, I don't know, maybe, could be, I don't know, whatever other words like that. Maybe you can supply some in chat for me. Can you anybody supply a word that's not if that also suggests if? Maybe somebody can think of that. My brain is done. Okay, anyways, whatever. So that's a hypothetical. It's hypothetical. It's not. It's something stated that could be true. You know, like if cats are electric, then that would be cool. So this cat is electric. That's pretty cool. Okay, there you go. It's a hypothetical. It's something you can dismiss by just saying that the if part is not true. That there isn't the case that cats are indeed electrical because electricity kill cat and cat not like being dead. So that, you know, okay. Then you have what's called a dejunctive syllogism, which is DS. That's dejunctive syllogism. That's when you see a choice between at least two, usually two options. Either it's on or it's off. Pretty simple. The light's on or it's off. It's not off, so it's going to be on then, right? Okay, so yeah, okay, we got it. It's on or off. It's a binary choice. It's A or B. It's apples or oranges. It's one or the other. It's left or right. It's up or down. It's black or white. It cannot be a combination of those things. It's either this or it's some other thing. That's it. Those are your two choices. It's alive or it's dead. And there's no in between, even though there really is an in between in reality for alive and dead, and it's complicated. But we're gonna pretend it's not complicated and just say, it's this or it's that. It's A or it's B. We don't know which one of those it is, and that's what we're doing with a dejunctive syllogism. Dejunctive syllogism being mixed into a hypothetical syllogism is kind of broken and bulky and doesn't really work. I guess you could do it. You shouldn't do it because pick one. If X, then Y. Okay. So then you're saying X or Y. Then you're saying Y. Then Y. Right? It's just kind of broken and it doesn't really work very well. And the formula needs to work in order to get to the conclusion. And if your formula is broken, then your conclusion isn't going to follow. It's a non sequitur, and that's all there is to it. Okay, so if this is true, then this is true. If that's true, then this or that is true. Then I'm just going to assert that something else that has no following to the above things is true without any proof at all. I'm just going to say that it's true. And then that being true makes this be true. Wow, that's freaking broken. So here's how to fix it. If X, then Z, this is Z, not X. There's one way. Or you could go not X, Z. Boom. Done. Fixed it. There you go. Simple, right? So, but we're combining all sorts of nonsense together. If there's moral progress that's objective, then an objective moral standard exists. So you have two ideas that need to be conjoined together. You need to, and so in order for two ideas to be conjoined, you have to show what's called association causation, where one thing leads to the other thing. So how did one thing lead to the other? So how is it that that moral progress is then moral standard? And like objective moral progress, what's that? Like what do you mean? Because well, in order to have progress, like you have to have something that means progress, right? So already you're implying that it is objective in some measurable way. So I mean, just so X is your goal, and that's the objective. That's true. Okay. So we're trying to get there. We're all trying to get there. We're all trying to get to X, whatever that is. Okay. We're all using different systems to get there. Okay, great. All right. So that getting towards it is progress. Okay. Now, you're saying that this is objective as just a tautology. You're just asserting that it's objective because it's the goal, right? So it being the goal does make it objective in one sense. So you could be right. You could actually formulate this argument in a way where it wouldn't be completely ass broken. But then I wouldn't be complaining about it, and then I wouldn't have a video. So presuming on condition that, yeah, those are other words for if. Thank you. All right, so there you go. So I'm saying it's just I'm broken. I'm sorry, I'm broken. Then we have premise 3, which isn't a premise. It should be a conclusion because you're just asserting this as being true. You're saying nothing natural can function as an objective moral standard. What? How? What do you mean by that? Like, that's just nihily incoherent. So, harm is the objective standard. Harm is bad. That's the objective standard. Now, what harm is? What is harm? Well, that's a natural thing, isn't it? Right? Because I'm a natural being. I cut into arm, bleed, bad. And, there's a little bit of an asterisk, but, okay. Because cutting into arm and bleeding might be needed for operation, then it's good. Otherwise it's bad. So if you cut into arm and you're not doing an operation, it's probably going to be bad. I can't think of, well, maybe you have to do it, but it's still bad. It's not a good thing. You want to avoid it. So let's say, you get your hand trapped in a bear trap, right? So, I don't know. Here's a bear trap thingy, whatever. Let's just say you get your hand. Yeah, that's a hand, all right. Get your hand stuck in one of those, and that's not a good day. That's a bad day for you, right? And so objectively, that's harm. That's causing you harm of all sorts, right? And so you want this to be taken off. That's objective. I need this to go away. I need this off of me. Because once it's off of me, then I can go get my arm fixed by somebody that can fix it, right? And that's good. And there you go, right? So there you go. So yeah, I fixed it, and that's all natural. At no point did I need something that isn't natural for that. So this is just false. And if you wanted it to be a conclusion, then it would need an argument. But no, you put it as a premise. So this is just a bald assertion with no backing, nothing at all to support it, and it's just blatantly false in reality anyways. Then you have another conclusion, because this should have been your conclusion, not the next thing, that restates premise 1. So you have an if in your conclusion. That shouldn't be. It should just say, you get rid of that if and just say, there is objective moral progress. Therefore, there's an objective, non-natural moral standard, whatever the hell that's supposed to mean. But that should be your conclusion, and you don't need the word if, because the word if should have been settled by your above syllogism, but it wasn't, because you don't know what the hell you're doing. Then you have another premise, oh my God, I hate you, that is also a conclusion. This should have been a conclusion, not a premise, because you need to support the idea that there is objective moral progress. You need to show that that's true. Also, that should have led from premise 1, not over here in premise 4, and it should have been a conclusion and not an extra premise. Then you conclude again with a second conclusion, which makes no goddamn sense, and say the same thing that you already said in the first conclusion, but now you finally did remove if, but you should have done that in the first time, and you shouldn't need, and this is broken. This is fucking broken. Okay, this is just so broken. This is broken. It's broken. It's so broken. It's the worst thing I've ever. It's like I've seen bad arguments. I've heard bad arguments. I've analyzed crap arguments, but at least they obey the form most of the time. This is nothing. This is nothing on top of nothing with nothing to go. It's so easy to make the argument actually format correctly that it saddens me. It really does. It makes me sad that this is what we get instead. Okay. All right. So get rid of all this mess. Let's just start over. No, I'm not going to save this. Okay. So you're saying if X, then Z. And here you're saying if there are objective moral goals, if there is, I guess you would say is are because it has an S. I'm not really sure how to do that grammatically. If there is an objective moral goal, whatever. Okay. Then it can't be natural. Okay? There you go. There is an objective moral goal. Can't be natural. There you go. There's your HS. I fixed it for you, okay? There's P1, there's P2, and there's your conclusion. I fixed it for you. It's a hypothetical syllogism. There's no logical fallacies in it. Well, okay, there is, but at least it's formatted correctly. Now, I said there is a logical fallacy in this statement because this needs to be supported by another argument. So, yeah. So you would need to show that there's an objective moral goal, which I think should be fairly straightforward. Harm is bad. That's objective as a goal. You know, it can't be, and then because it just can't. So you run into some problems with premise 2, okay? Because obviously harm is natural and it can be a moral goal, but you're saying in premise 1 that those things are incompatible with each other. So you would need another argument to show that the premise 1 is true, but that's why it's a hypothetical, right? That's why it's a hypothetical, because you could just say, well, I disagree, and that's the end of that, okay? But what what Gavin wanted to do, was make a modus ponens or a modus teleos, which does not include the word if. It just is true. So there is an objective moral goal. It can't be natural. Or let's see, there's an objective moral goal. Let's see, how would you fix this? Let's see, moral goals are not natural. Or I guess you'd say objective. And then there is an objective moral goal. So it's there you go. So there you go. There's your modus ponens. It works. It's broken because you need to prove every single point is true, but at least the format is working. Okay, Gavin? I don't think Gavin will watch this, but so look, it's not hard to make an argument that at least looks right. But if you don't actually study how to do logic, then this is what you're going to know, which is nothing. You're not going to know how to do any of this, and then you're going to wind up with this broken ass non-argument that we see here in this debate, and this is just no. Why did you do this, Gavin? Why is it so broken? Okay. So I don't know what else to tell you. I just wanted to share this broken argument with you and complain about it, and I think I've done that. So learn logic, people, so that you don't do this. You look. I made the argument work twice. Now now, to be fair, the hypothetical works without any problems. Hypothetical works. The non-hypothetical doesn't. So yeah, stick to hypothetical and you can make just about any argument function, but you have to still follow the formatting or it breaks down. If X, then B, or if X, then Z, and then you have to say, well, then it's, it's not X and then it's Z. It's just very simple, very straightforward. It's not hard, but I don't know. You broke me. You broke me. This broke me, and I didn't even finish it. Anyways, ultimately, arguments don't prove God. Only God can prove God. Well, that's a whole different problem. Hypotheticals don't explain reality. Well, that's correct. They're hypotheticals. They're not meant to explain reality. They're meant as, maybe a thought experiment or something like that. But in logic, you have, well, I guess we could go over that. Sure, why not? Let's do that. Let's just do that because then you'll learn logic a little bit, maybe. I don't know. Not that you don't know it. Maybe you already know. I don't know. All right, let's just cover it. Let's go into that. Let's see. You've got modus ponens, modus teleos, dejunctive syllogism, and hypothetical syllogism. Okay. So, what are these? What is this? What is all this? So, modus ponens is if whatever it is, then, well, let's see. Nope, sorry, I'm doing a hypothetical. My brain went off there. X, then B, then Z. Let's see. My brain went off. I swear, my brain just turned off. My brain's like, you don't get to teach logic today. So yeah. There we go. Here we go. Okay. I had to look at it. Sometimes I have to look at it. That's okay. It's okay. Sometimes you have to remember how to do logic. Let's see. Conflict arguments. Let's see. P, then Q. Q. Oh, geez. That's not a good one. Let's see. I'm trying to find a good example. Yeah, okay. So if P, then Q. Okay, right. X. So, let's see. So, basically, this is true, then the other thing is true, this is true, so the other thing is true. That's it. It's very simple. And the modus teleos is just kind of like backwards from that. It's just like this is not true, so that, I'm not doing good explaining it live right now. I could edit a video and do it. I'll do that. I'll do that because I can't explain it live because my brain refuses to cooperate. Okay, my brain just said no. My brain said you're not teaching logic live. It's not happening. So that's, I'm sorry. I apologize. I'll make a video that's edited that goes over these things in detail and explains them. Of course, you could learn that, from an informal logic book. And yeah, so that, and there's several available, and lots of them are available for free online as well. So if you can't afford, $12, $8, whatever, you can just get a PDF version of it. So yeah, you call your skills in logic. Yeah, I consider myself an amateur logician. I blame myself. I blame Gavin for breaking my brain. That's what happened. Gavin broke my brain with this non-logic. And, it's just sometimes you can't explain stuff live. It just takes a recording to do it properly. Yeah, that's just the way it is. If I memorized the script, then that would be different. But I didn't. I wanted to talk about the argument and why it's broken. And I did that. But then I stayed too long. And then I ruined my video. So that's how that happened. So don't do that in the future, me. I'll probably do it anyways. Because I don't know what I'm doing. But that's fine. At least when I don't know what I'm doing, I admit it, and there you go. So these arguments that are not arguments convince people. Yeah, that is sad. So what about, maybe I could talk about the moral argument, just in general. Okay, so objective moral values somehow means that there's a God. Now, how we make the leap from one to the other is beyond me. But they say that, okay, if it's actually really wrong to kill a human, then that means there's a God. Because only a God could make it be that this is absolutely true always. And you're like, well, this is by fiat. So by the force of the command, this is true. So the nature of the universe is such that this is how things operate. That killing somebody is intrinsically wrong. End of story, period. That's how it is. That's a law of the universe now. And that the only way for that to be a law of the universe is there to be a God. Because reasons. And of course you have the dilemma of, is it good because the God said it was good, or is it good because it just is good? And that's a problem, because the God could change his mind and say, well, killing's wrong. By the way, kill somebody. Which is exactly what Yahweh does in the Bible. Yahweh's like, yeah, don't kill people. By the way, here's 613 commandments that order you to stone to death people. And you're like, excuse me, Yahweh, I have a question. You said don't kill people, but now you're saying kill people. So which is it? Well, no. Don't murder people. Murdering is when you're not following my commands. But when you're following my commands, then it's just killing, which is fine. So don't murder people. Okay, killing people is fine. But you said kill it first. No, I changed my mind. It's murder now. Don't murder people. Okay, so lawful killing is fine. I decide, because I'm God, what is and isn't lawful. Can you change your mind? Well, yes, I can. I won't, but I could. And by the way, hey, Abraham, kill your son. But you said not to do that. Yeah, well, I wanted to see if you would do it. Oh, you did it. You're awesome. Well, you were going to do it, but then I stopped you. And that's what makes you awesome. Ugh. Anyways, any recommendation for newbies for informal logic? Absolutely. The one I go to is informal logic, a pragmatic approach. I just think it's approachable, it's understandable, it's easy to understand. It's what started me on my journey. The guy that wrote it, the gentleman that wrote it, the doctor that wrote it, Dr. Walton, sadly passed away lately, and it's a loss to the world because he had many, many brilliant contributions to logic. But you can get this thing. You can get it online, um, even free if you can't afford it. Um, so if that's the case, if you cannot afford it, uh, let me know and I'll show you where you can get it. But I'd rather people buy it if they could, because that's going to go to helping uh, his family and whatever. So here's that. Let me put it there. That's the Amazon link. That would be my recommendation of where to start. Okay, I think I'm done. I think I'm done for now. Thanks for watching. Leave your comments, questions, concerns, and other keywords in the things below. My email is on my About page if you want to email me about whatever. And I haven't done a blog in a while. And I don't know what's going on anymore. I don't know. Thanks, whatever. Nah, I hate it's broken. So broken. Broken arguments, broken. Alright. Bye. Finn. Alright. Cool. Yeah, and Kevin, email me if you need to. And yeah. Alright. and I might be able to hook you up. I'm not saying that, anyways. All right, but it's legal. Whatever I do is legal. FBI people that are probably listening to this, or whatever would get me in trouble if it's not legal. I'm pretty sure it's legal. I don't know. It's online. I mean, everything online is legal, right?